Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin, and this is a weather forecast for June 12, 2026. We keep additional graphics available at TPATW. We also maintain a storefront on Amazon. Looking at the surface map for Friday, although high pressure will be dominating a large portion of the interior sections of the country, we have a new cold front stretching all the way from Minneapolis to Missoula. A little bit of unsettled weather up here across Montana and more across southern Minnesota. But we have the most active weather front stretching all the way from Boston, all the way through D.C., down to Charlotte, across the south, Birmingham, all the way toward Austin and back up to Dallas and on up into Kansas. The most significant activity, of course, will be along and ahead that front across the east and, lots of unsettled weather across the south. Showers will continue across Florida. Looking at our vitality index, we can see we have a lot of activity going on through the central and through the Ohio Valley, especially here up near the lakes, and of course, as typical back here in the Central Plains. And note, while there is no really significant activity going on, there are still those showers and thunder showers across Florida. Looking at the change in pressure, we have rising pressure across northern Montana and a significant area of rising pressure extending all the way from Wisconsin across Michigan, down through the easternmost portions of Iowa and Missouri, and covering most of Illinois, Indiana, and across into probably northwestern Pennsylvania and upstate New York, at least a point. Looking at temperature changes, we are now flush in the middle of warmth of summer, but you can see we will be having some bubble warmth where temperatures will be as much as 10 degrees warmer, running all the way from Utah across Wyoming and Colorado into the easternmost portion or westernmost portions of the plains, taking in at least a good portion of Nebraska and South Dakota. Looking at the change in dew point temperatures, you'll see we have rising dew point temperatures here across most of the west, falling dew point temperatures here well behind that front, and the vapor pressure just confirming that exact pattern of rising dew point temperatures or rising vapor pressure into the Central Plains, but falling where the front has just gone through. Looking at instability, and pretty much again the same pattern aligned with some instability back here through the Ohio Valley until at least that frontal system gets out of the way. Looking at the change in oxygen availability, we have migraine stresses across almost all of Montana through North Dakota, and then extreme northern Minnesota, and then on into Canada. Note that here in the east, we're flipping back with a significant migraine stress, first across eastern New Mexico and West Texas, but really getting significant here in Arkansas, the Missouri boot heel, and then up across Illinois into easternmost portions of Wisconsin, and then across Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, and then holding up at New York, but taking in most of the Canadian cities from Windsor to Toronto. Note we also have a risk of migraine here in Central Florida. Looking at asthma and arthritis, we're picking up an asthma and arthritis stress significantly across Utah into Wyoming, Colorado, getting very significant here in westernmost portions of Kansas, almost all of Nebraska, and across southern Minnesota and Iowa. We're also having an asthma and arthritis risk across North Carolina and Virginia. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated, and if you hurt, let us know where you're located.